Hey, my DRG, Rec Tec, and YouTube family. Thank you guys so much for taking a minute to watch this video. I realize it's a little lengthy, but we're going to cover a whole lot of stuff. I've been wanting to do this video for a while. For those of you that's been following me, I just recently, a couple weeks ago, got my hands on the Rt-380X. So don't let the header actually fool you. This is not going to be a bashing session. We are not going to beat up either one of these grills. Both of these grills are phenomenal for what they are and in the price point that they are. But what I wanted to bring to you was I'd gotten a lot of people reaching out wanting to know what I thought about the 380X. Was it worth the money? Did it do what they advertised it to do? And was it a better build than the original 380? For those of you that's not familiar with these two grills, this grill here is actually Rec Tec's Bullseye grill. It's the Rt-380. This is actually the third generation, which is the stainless steel cooker. It's an incredible little grill. It does have a couple shortfalls that come along with it, but I'll point those out to you as we go along. I'm going to keep this video completely truthful with you 100%. This grill is their first generation Bullseye 380X. So this is the first generation for this grill. But what this grill stems from is all the Facebook and Rec Tec family members out there making comments and asking Rec Tec to do certain things with the 380. Rec Tec is one of those companies that definitely listens to your feedback. They go to the drawing board and try to give you exactly what you asked for. That's where this grill came from. So this was from years of people talking about what they wish the grill had, and this was Rec Tec's bringing it and offering to you with everything that you guys had asked for. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get off my good clothes. Let's go downstairs to the shop. We're going to go head to head between the two. I'm going to show you everything from it, from all the little hidden features that came with the 380X that Rec Tec doesn't even talk about, that are absolutely, they're so small, it's kind of like the devil in the detail kind of thing. This grill has a couple little features that nobody talks about. Maybe they don't even realize it, but I wanted to point them out to you guys because I think they're actually pretty cool. So let's go downstairs and go head to head with it. I'm going to go over it from the hopper to the cooker to the chamber to the fire pot to the cart to the handles to the hinges to the build of it, and we're going to address a couple cleaning features and stuff like that I think you guys are going to absolutely love. So let's go downstairs and take a look at it. Let's go, my friends. Come on, let's go. All right, so here we go. Let's start off basically with what are the similarities? What do both of these grills have in common? First off, you can pick both of them up at rectecgrills.com. Both of them come with a 2-year manufacturer warranty. Both of them are 22-inch grills. Both of them are 304 stainless steel. Both of them are the cart design. Both of them run pellets. Both of them have electric igniters. Both of them have the PID systems on them. Really, I think that's pretty much the end of the similarities. Now let's deal with, obviously, the elephant in the room. One of the biggest issues everybody had from the original Bullseye 380 was the height. They all complained about the cart. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's what my business started off of, was actually building and designing a new style cart for this grill to lift it up to a much higher height. Speaking of height, this grill right now in its factory configuration, from the ground up to the grill grate, to the actual cooking surface, is 29 inches. Just to kind of give you a comparison, I'm 6'6". You could see why I had a problem with the cart being so short. Now, when Rec Tec came out with the Deluxe, they actually took everybody's concerns into account when they were building it. They did exactly what everybody asked for, and they lifted it up. So this particular cart, from the ground up to the cooking grates, is actually 33.5 inches up to the cooking surface. Absolutely really nice sweet spot for pretty much everybody out there. For those of you that's followed me, the carts that I build, mine, the grates from the ground up to the grate is actually 36 inches high. There was a method behind why I did that. If you walk into your house, in just about every single house in America, your kitchen cooktop, whether it be on the counter, whether it's a built-in, or whether it's your stove with the cooktop on the top, it's 36 inches from the floor up to your cooking area. I wanted to keep the grill in that same area so you kind of felt really comfortable when you were cooking on it. It was almost like you were cooking in your house. So that was why I went with that particular design. But I'm not here to promote my product. I'm here to give you guys a really good comparison between the original 380 to the 380X or the Deluxe, whichever way you want to call it. So let's just walk around. I'm going to show you some pictures here on a split screen of every single thing that's different between the two, so you could see up close what the differences are. Then we'll go over what is extra on the Deluxe that the original doesn't have. And then I'm going to tell you the one thing that the original has that absolutely beats out the Deluxe. So let's take a look. First off is the handle that's on the hopper. On the 380, you obviously need to use the handle to move it around because it actually has just stopper feet on the one side, where the Deluxe actually has locking caster wheels on it. So you have your handles that are on your hopper. That's first. So you have your handle on your hopper of the 380. You have your handle on the hopper of the Deluxe, which is actually a fold down design. Works really nice. It's all stainless steel. It's very heavy duty. The one on the 380 was actually made out of 16 gauge stamped steel. So that's the comparison there. The hopper, there's huge difference. You see the hopper here on the 380 and you see the hopper on the Deluxe. Literally, it is twice the size. It is absolutely phenomenal how much bigger the hopper is on the Deluxe over the original. On the back, they both have the clamshell stainless steel hinge. Both of them come with it. On these two grills, they're not on it. I actually put the S1 hinges on mine, but they come with the same exact clamshell stainless steel hinge that has been upgraded. You know, for those of you that may have saw some videos on Facebook where there were some failures of that particular clamshell hinge, it was because of the spot weld was the issue, and Rec Tec addressed that. They corrected it. It is no longer spot welded, so now it's actually bent 304 stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. Well, that comes standard on both. On the back of the Deluxe, it actually has what I call rabbit ears. It has two small rabbit ears that screw on, which allows you to wrap your cord up for easy storage so your cord's not dragging on the ground. Obviously, on the back of the 380, the original, you don't have that. The cord literally just hangs on the back. On the end of the 380 Deluxe, you're going to notice a little pull-out tray that is not on the original. Reason for that is the Deluxe version actually comes with a simple, easy, clean out fire pot that actually just has a one flip trigger that flips the bottom of the fire pot and dumps all your ash into an ashtray, which is right here on the front. You just pull that, it dumps all the ash into the ashtray. You just dump that out, put it back in the grill, and away you go. That's an upgrade that's on the Deluxe that is not standard on the 380. On the front, you're going to notice on the 380 Deluxe versus the original, they actually added a front folding shelf. This shelf works very easy up, easy down. It's made out of 304. It has Rec Tec's logo stamped in the front of it. It's a really nice shelf. It is a really nice add-on to the Deluxe that you don't really get on the original 380. Also on the front of the 380, you're going to notice their control board. On the Deluxe, you actually have the Wi-Fi PID system. You could tell that by the antenna that's on it. On the original 380, you don't have that. On it, you simply have the PID system. Now, you can monitor your internal temperature. You can monitor the temperature of the grill, and you also have your set points. You can monitor all that from the 380. The screen has all that on it. The only problem is you have to go out to the grill to see it. On the Deluxe, you actually can control all that from the new app on your cell phone, which is phenomenal, that you can fire this grill up from anywhere in the world. You know, and you think, it's kind of a gimmick. When would you ever use that? Well, you know what? We've actually used it a couple times. You know, you'd be running late to get home. You're thinking about throwing some steaks on the grill. You want to do some reverse searing on it. On your way home, you think about it, you pull out your phone, you fire up the grill, you set your temp. By the time you get home, the grill's already up to temp, ready to go. You go in the house, pull out your steaks, throw some seasoning on them right on the grill. 15 minutes, you are done. It is absolutely that easy. That is phenomenal to be able to do that. Cart-wise, obviously on the Deluxe, they actually upgraded the cart pretty substantially. They raised the cart up. It's made out of tubular steel versus the, well, square tubular steel versus round steel. It's an all bolt together design instead of just being held together by the clips on the wheels on the standard. Also, the wheels were upgraded. On the Deluxe, it actually comes with rolling caster wheels and the rollerblade wheels with ball bearings in them, where on the original you didn't have that. You only had the plastic rollerblade wheels on it. So that was another huge upgrade on the Deluxe versus the original. Oh, by the way, there are two more things I wanted to point out to you. One is I want to show you the fire pots in the two to show you the difference between them. You know, obviously in the 380, it's designed for you to just take a vacuum cleaner and suck it out, or stick your hand down in there and pull out the ash. On the 380 Deluxe, you obviously can't do that. The fire pot on this is actually designed to be more like a turbine. That's how they can get to those extreme 1,000-degree temperatures. So I want to show you that up close to show you how it works and why that incredible clean out system is so amazing. But also, one of the things that I told you about at the beginning of this video is one of the things that Rec Tec doesn't talk about that kind of like is, you know, that devil in the detail kind of thing, is inside the hopper. If you have the 380, or if you're thinking about getting a 380, inside the hopper, they actually have a screen in the hopper. That's designed for two things. One is to keep you from accidentally sticking your hand down in there into the auger and getting your fingers jammed in it, or your kids or somebody like that. The other one is if you have a bag of pellets that are sitting around for a little bit, there's a chance those pellets have like clumped up, and you go to pour them in and a big clump falls in there. They didn't want you to do that because it could jam up your auger. But one of the big things that people love about these grills, and I've done it, I know a couple other people have done it, is there's so many different kind of pellets out there for you to use. There's, you know, there's hickory and there's oak and there's mesquite and there's, you know, there's so many different variations, and people like using different kind of wood flavors with different kinds of food. Obviously, you're not going to cook a piece of fish with a mesquite wood, or you won't be able to eat the piece of fish. The flavor will be so just intense that you wouldn't be able to do it. So what a lot of people like to do is they like to suck the pellets out of their hopper if they're going to cook. Say you're going to cook a piece of fish and you've been running a really harsh wood in there and you want to take it out. You want to put in something a little more mild to do up your fish. Well, before, under the original one, it's actually the grate is bolted in. It has 4 Phillips screws to remove and take the grate out. Now, I personally have removed that from my grills. I don't have any children around here, and I don't use pellets that have been sitting around for a long time, so I just took it out. But on the Deluxe, they thought about that. So what they did with the grate in it simply just lifts out. It's really that simple. So this way, if you wanted to suck out your pellets, swap them out with a more mild pellet or a harsher pellet because you want to do a big piece of meat and you want to get a really good, you know, mesquite flavor into it. This is a real easy way for you to clean out your hopper, suck out a little bit of the pellets in the tube, use what pellets are in the tube to get your fire up and roaring. But then by the time you put your food on, you're actually cooking with the pellets that you changed it out with. That's just one of those little details that's just, I just personally found to be very exciting that they did that and nobody was talking about it. So other than that, let's take a look at the fire pots on the Deluxe and on the 380 and on the original 380. All right, so let's take a look at the fire pots. How much different the fire pot is in the Deluxe versus the original. As you'll notice in the original, it's the really thick 10 gauge stainless steel fire pot. It's got your, you notice down here in the bottom, you actually have your little igniter rod. In the Deluxe, you have this incredible high-end looking turbine stainless steel fire pot that obviously you couldn't get your hand down in there to clean it out. I mean, yeah, I got big old meat hooks, but you couldn't get your hand down in there, and that's why if you look down inside the fire pot, if you flip this handle in the front, the fire pot bottom opens to dump all your ashes right into the little tray. That is absolutely crazy. One of the other things why we got the lid open is the massive difference in the reflector, the deflector shield. This deflector shield right here is made out of cast iron, and it weighs 5 pounds more than the deflector shield that comes in the 380. The one in the 380 is made out of 10 gauge steel. The one in the Deluxe is made out of cast iron and weighs 5 pounds more. That is absolutely crazy. Then on top of that, if you look inside the grill, the actual lugs that the grate and the deflector shield sit on has been upgraded. You'll notice here, these are your lugs. Look how much thicker this is compared to what is inside the 380. Now, I'm sure they did that to be able to withstand that extra weight, but it's just another one of those things nobody's talking about, and it's a huge upgrade in the Deluxe over the 380. So let's go back. So that's just basically a walk around. I'm going to take you in and show you how easy it is to open it up if you have an auger jam, to show you which one of the two grills is easier to clean out. What else was there? I think other than that, there is one point where this 380 wins over the Deluxe. And I'm going to tell you where that is. I don't know if you guys remember, but about a year ago, I had started doing some stuff with Texas Chrome Heroes out of Texas. Nonprofit organization. It's a phenomenal organization. You need to check them out. But they work with a lot of disabled veterans, fire department, police department, paramedics, military, all branches of the military. It's an incredible organization, and some of the individuals that participates in their cook-offs are actually in a wheelchair. Well, under Americans Disability Act, they have guidelines as to what height a grill has to be, how accessible it is, how easy it is to use from a seated wheelchair position. And one of the only grills out there that are manufactured to spec is this particular Bullseye, and it actually falls under the category of the height. The only reason this grill isn't approved for that is because the hinge is in the back of the lid, which means you have to lean across the grill to open the lid, and you can't do that. That was one of the reasons I came out with the handles, which was the BT handles that bolts on the front, which actually is on this Deluxe, as you can see here, but it's not on this particular grill. But that allowed you to open and close the lid without leaning across the cooker from a seated wheelchair position. So that's one of the places that this grill shines over any other grill out there, not just comparing it to the Bullseye Deluxe. On any of the grills out there, that is where this one actually wins hands down. But let's go ahead and take it inside. I'll show you how easy it is to clean the auger on the Deluxe versus the auger on the original 380. And I'll give you my final thoughts on it, on which one I think is the best value and which one I would personally go with if I was making a decision and had to choose one or the other. So let's take it inside the shop, take a look at it. Let's go. All right, so here we are. Let's take a look. This is the Bullseye Deluxe. This is the original Bullseye 380. For those of you that's watched my videos before, you know in order to get to the auger, to clear an auger jam, you have to drop down this lower tray. So let's go ahead and do that. There's 7 screws total. All right, so that's the 7 screws that are out, and then this simply drops down and sets just like that. That gives you full access to your auger motor, so you can pull the pin to remove the auger motor to get to the auger. On the Deluxe, you only have to remove 5 screws. Well, that wasn't done with the utmost respect for the panel, but hey, you get the idea. Now you have full access to this one. So this just has a single panel. This obviously has the wraparound. This is much easier to put back together than this one, only because you have to finagle this lip back up underneath. It's not hard, it really isn't. It's extremely easy. This one is just a little simpler. The only thing I will say that was better with the original Bullseye over the Deluxe is because your auger motor is up in this cavity, it's much harder to get to the side to pull your pin because you can't see it. On the original Bullseye, you have full access to the side to pull the pin, which makes it extremely easy. Okay, so as you can see, it's really easy to drop down the shield on the original 380. It's extremely simple to take off the panel that covers the auger motor on the new Deluxe. I will say, getting the auger pin out and getting it back in is much simpler on the original Bullseye because you have full access to it on both sides. On this one, because of the way they stuck this up in this cavity, it is a lot harder to get to. They did give you access up through the bottom, so you could get to it, you know, like on the original, this bottom shield is solid. So if your auger happens to be sitting in a position that you couldn't pull the pin out, that always created a problem. Well, they addressed that on this one. They opened it up on the bottom and they opened up the bottom of the tray. So you actually, regardless of how that pin is sitting, you should be able to get to it to get it out. But if it's sitting like it should, the original is much easier to get the motor off than the new Deluxe version is. But neither one of them are really that big a deal. You know, if your auger motor goes up or you get a jam, watch my video on how to clear the jam. It works exactly the same on the original as it does on the Deluxe. And it even uses the same 17-inch rod. The auger tube is actually the same exact size and the auger is exactly the same. So there'd be no issue clearing either one using the technique that I showed you in the video that said clearing the auger jam in a 380. So I'm gonna put these back together. Let's get final thoughts and wrap all this up because I'm sure this video has already gone long enough. So let's get to it. All right, so there you go. I hope this helps you guys. You know, we've gone outside. We went up close and personal with the 380, the original, the Gen 3. We've also looked at the brand new 380 Deluxe, the 380X. You know, I tried to go around it and show you all the upgrades that have come with the Deluxe. I mean, Rec Tec definitely is a company that listens to your feedback, watches your comments on Facebook. They do try to take everything that you say to heart, and they try to upgrade their products to match your wants, your needs, your desires. And I think that's what they did with the Deluxe. You know, going around it, obviously the handle on the hopper was way upgraded. The new one is more robust. It's heavier. It's a fold-away design. It's a beautiful hinge. On the back of the cart, the actual hinge system, you know, they upgraded those. They stayed with the stainless steel. They stayed with the quality of that. They changed it and got rid of the spot weld. It's now a solid piece that's bent. No longer will you have the thought that it may fail because of the spot welds. Those days are gone. You know, on the Deluxe, you obviously have the easy, clean fire pot with the lever on the front that dumps all the ash right into an ashtray. Super, super simple and easy to clean. It's just absolutely crazy. The picture didn't show it, but the fire pot actually sticks up quite a bit from the bottom of the grill, which actually helps with those real long cooks. You know, if you're someone that don't like cleaning the grill, but you like doing it once a year, maybe, you know, before, one of the problems with the 380 versus the Deluxe is all the ash starts to settle in the bottom, and then you wind up with the ash kind of falling into your fire pot. So you have to keep that fire pot cleaned out. With this design, that sticks up so much higher that the ash on the bottom of your grill, you literally would have to cook on that thing for years to build up enough ash that it's going to fall into the fire pot. Their fire pot design, with it being that turbine style design, the easy clean out, the tray, that is just, it's a game changer. There's going to be a lot of companies out there that are going to go to that. You know, Rec Tec was just very innovative when they come out with that design. Then you move around to the front of the grill. They put the folding shelf on the front. That was something everybody wanted. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I've sold hundreds of the fold up side shelves for the 380, for the original, for this exact reason. People wanted that front folding shelf. You know, it's so much easier to set your utensils, your cookie sheet with your ribs on it and everything. It's so nice to have that shelf just right there for you. The cart being raised up to that amazing 33.5 inch for the cooking grates to go up to the 33.5 inch from the floor. That's amazing. That's a height that it's like that perfect little sweet spot for a majority of the people out there. Then you get to the icing on the cake, and they put in the PID Wi-Fi system. You know, having the capability to turn your grill on and off is absolutely amazing. But not only do you just get to turn the grill on and off, you get to control, you get to monitor the temperature of the meat that you're cooking. So you put a big old bird on there and you're cooking, no longer are you tied to the grill. You no longer have to go probe the meat and see where the temp is, and you got to stay around the house to watch it because you don't want it to dry out. You know, you don't have that worry anymore. Now with this Deluxe and having that PID Wi-Fi system, you can feel confident that when you put the meat probe in, you literally go play a game of golf, take your phone with you, and keep an eye on your temperatures. It is crazy. You start to notice that it's getting up there a little too fast, turn the temperature down. It's crazy what you can do in this day and age with technology, and the fact that Rec Tec has been so innovative to bring this over into the grilling industry and then give you the quality that they're giving you with this particular grill. You know, so if someone asked me if I had the money and I could only pick one, which one would I pick? Unfortunately, shooting myself in the foot, I would have to say you have to go with the Deluxe. For all the upgrades that you're getting, it well warrants the extra money that you paid for that particular grill. You know, and don't forget the S1 hinge that I make, the rotisseries that are made by Only Fire and, you know, a bunch of other manufacturers out there. All those still work on the Deluxe just like they did on the original Bullseye. So you can get one of my hinges, put it on there just like you did on the 380. You can run the rotisserie on it. You have the ability to run 2 pizza ovens at the same time. You also have the ability to have 2 separate grates. So you could be cooking on 2 different things in that Bullseye. It is absolutely crazy. You know, I will say the only downfall to the Deluxe version is if you have an auger jam, having to remove the auger motor. It is a little cumbersome trying to get to that pin to get it out because of the way it's designed. You know, I would ask Rec Tec if they see this, if they later down the road want to do an upgrade, they really needed to put an access panel on the back of the grill right above where your electric cord is. If they had put just a little panel there, had 2 screws that come off where you could go in to get that pin out, it would have been so much nicer. So Rec Tec, if you're listening, I know you guys listen to everything that we're talking about, and I know you take it to heart. And if that's a design that you could do, man, that would be absolutely phenomenal. That would take away the only downfall that I saw with this new version 380 Deluxe. All right, other than that, I know this video is way too long as it is. I hope this helped everyone out there. Please keep an eye on my channel and on my YouTube. One of our family members, Bill Taylor, myself, I teamed up with Texas Chrome Heroes out of Texas. They're a nonprofit organization. They reached out to me again this year and wanted to know if I would be interested in building them another cart as a giveaway or an auction for them to raise money for their nonprofit. I totally jumped at the offer, told them I would absolutely build them something, and we're going to send it over the top with it. Teamed up with Bill Taylor, our really good friend here, a family member. He's the one that designed the Rec Tec shirts. Phenomenal guy. He actually wanted to be a part of it, so he and I teamed up. He's helping me build this thing. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. I'll probably do some pictures along the way as we're building it to bring you guys in so you get to see this incredible build as we're doing it. Other than that, thank you guys so much. God bless you. God bless America. And as always, smoke like the rest, but roll with the best. I'll see you on our